Okay, so 我们再开始把剩下的东西画一画。So since we already have the GRD file, so right now we should make the best map to plot the time frequency map. So first, we should create the frame. We should create the frame. I don't have the n, so I'll just skip the n, and we have spectrograms, and we should use the log SS for the frequency. So all of the coding are quite similar to our previous one. So I can go very quickly. So this is for the log SS for the frequency. So right now we have the GMT, and we type the best map BAS, and I don't have the M, but I already copied the M, so I can map PS best map, and we have the minus R, and the minus R is start from the 0 to the 96 hours. And the frequency I use the 1 to 100 hertz. Okay, and the projections use the minus JX, and the size use the 15 to 5.5. And here, very important, I use the L. We use the 5.5 L because the L in here is use the log SS for the Y frequency. Okay, and then I use the minus B only for the X. So for each 12 hours, I use the 1 tick, and each 6 hours I show the tick but without the label. And then I plus the label, so I use the plus L. It indicates I added the label. The label here I use the time. I use the time, so I don't have n and copy. And TIME, the time, and we have the hour, right? The unit is the hour. So the space is not enough, so I use this. And then another label, I use the minus BY. It's a label for Y-axis. And I move to the next line, so I use the broken operators. So the minus B, and for the Y-axis is the log axis. So here I use the A1, F3, especially for the log axis. And the plus label, and the label here right now we use is the frequency, and the unit is the hertz. Okay, and I also use the minus B and only show the SS label in the western and the southern part, and do not show the label on the north and the eastern part. So here is a capital W and a capital S, but the small n and the small e. So this is my first line, so I use the minus K and minus V and the minus P. This is my first line. And this is my chapter 3 and PSD.ps. Okay, so the first, I only create the frame of the spectrograms. So nothing plot on the map, just have the shape of my frame base map. And the second, I would like to plot the the GRD 2.5 dimensional color map. So use the GRD and image, GRD image. So IMAGE and provide the TF grid file, and -C provide the CPT file for the color. Okay, and this is my second line. So I keep the -J the same and the -R, and the second line. So I need to use the -K and the -O, and I use the -V, and the output to CH3 and underline PSD.ps file. Okay, and then I added the color bar on the right side of the map. So I use the GNT and the PS scale, and also provide the CPT file. And right now I use the -DJ, and the J is just justify the locations of the color bar, and I would like to put on the right middle. 我没有大 N， 可恶！我要呼叫一下，没有复制到大 N。So the right middle, so I need to use the capital M in here. Okay, so after I put the color bar on the right middle, and I use the plus. I use the plus and 0.01 I. Okay, that indicates I use the offset. I try to control the offset of the color bar, and here use 0 plus the MC. Just put the character on the center, okay? And I broken the line. Maybe I don't need to broken. And -BX, and for the -BX, I only plus the label, and the label for the color bar is the PSD, and relatively to the meter per second square. So the square here, I use the mouse and plus 2, and in the map you will see the meter per second square, and divided the mouse and plus, and divided the hertz. So you need to take care. Here we have the two mouse. And each mouse, after each mouse, we have the plus, and the 2 here is the square, and then finally divided the hertz. Okay. Okay, 那是老鼠 the mouse. Okay, the mouse plus 2 and the mouse plus divided the Hz hertz. Okay, and then I also would like to edit the -by to control the Y label, but right now the Y label I only plus the L. I show the unit is the dB. So the color bar, on the color bar, you will see the dB. You will see the dB labels on the color bar for the y-axis. Okay, and I use the keep the -R and the -J, and then I would like to check the figures. So maybe here I only use the -0 because this is my final layer. And I save to the chapter 3 and the PSD.ps. Okay, so I save to the chapter, and there is a double. So remember here I use the double. Okay, so some character you will have some typo errors is here is a -DJRN right middle plus 0.01 inch and 0 plus the MC. Okay, and the following is the PSD character relatively to the m meter per second and mouse plus 2 mouse plus and 9 and divided the hertz. Okay, and the white label I also added the dB font on the map. Okay, so after you plot the scale, and then you can do the PS to PDF and just convert your PS file to the PDF file, and you can also have the GNT PS convert, and you also provide the PS file, and the PS convert will help you to convert the PS file. And I use the -A and the -T. I need the PNG file, so the -T here I use the -TG to output the PNG file. And the DPI I use the 300 DPI, and the -Z and the -V. Okay, so I just convert to PS file to PDF and convert the PS to the PNG file. And if everything is successfully done, and then we will have the Vigor file. And we can open the Vigor and double check the Vigor is work well or not. Okay, so that's all. So again, for the previous one, we just create the CPT file. And then we do the merge the data. And after we merge the data, we do the XYZ to GRD and to create the TF-GRD file. And I use the GRD info to double check the GRD file information is well done. And then I created the data frame, the map, and to show the X is the time hours and the Y is the frequency. Okay, and I also after I created the base map, so I use the GRD image to plot the two-dimensional color map. And here we need to provide the two key parameters. The first one is we need to provide the GRD file. And the second, we need to provide the CPT file. Okay? And then please always remember this is a middle layer. So usually we use the -K and the -0. And after we plot the color map, and then we plot the color bar on the right hand side. So because I plot the color bar, so my input data is the CPT file. And the -DJ is adjust the location of the color bar. And on my color bar, I would like to show the PSD unit is the meter per second square divided the hertz. And the Y label I use just show the unit is the dB. And keep the same -R and the -J, and this is right now is my final layer, so I use only -0 here and save to the PS file. And then do the PS to PDF and the PS convert to the PNG file with the 300 DPI resolution. Okay, so save, Ctrl X and save, yes. And just run the code. And enter. Okay, so you can see my screen have some trouble, so maybe I need some parts are not correct. So, but based on the screen here, the minus are the CGRD. I can plot the GRD image. Okay. So I just double check what's the problem. So first check, I need to check where is the error. So I comment the PS scale, and then maybe I only plot the GRD image. Okay, so I change the minus K minus O here to be a minus O only, and save the file and replot the script. Okay, still cannot work, and then so the problem should be the TF-GRD file minus J minus 1. I comment the GRD images, and I only have the PDF file, and run the code. Okay, so the first line, in my base map already have some error inside. Okay, so as you can see, the information showing here is related to the minus I minus BA. Minus BA1 minus A. Minus B. Recognize the line comment. Okay, so the broken line problem. So I go back to connect the here. That's a broken line problem. So I go back to here and save the code. Okay, so and then I open the GRD images and run the code. Okay, it's well done. So my initial problem is I broken the line, so the broken line, the operation is not correct. So after I connect the broken line, so right now is no other problems. So I just open the scale again. So here I move to the middle layer to be the minus K minus O, and reopen the PS scale in here. Okay, so save and then run the code again. And I go to my folder to check the vigor is correct or not. So the course and the time frequency and the chapter, the Vivian here, and the chapter 3. And I open the figures. Okay, so the results are quite good. And as I mentioned here, I can adjust I just plot the dimensional of the PSD. And because I use the mouse and the plus, so you can see the square are located here. And minus by show the dB characters. Okay, so the final part in here, we need to edit the water level data on the map. We need to edit the water level data on the map. So if we go back to check the slide, so we have the one file, the name is called UTC DW2 and the 2018 _98 TST file. This is the water level data. And you can see the data format is the first column is the ton. And the second column is the water levels. And because our data is start from the August 23, but this file, the first time point data is August first day, and August second day. So we need to find out the hours related to the August 23 date. Okay, so this is our water level data. So we follow this the slide, and we recoding the code and try to plot the water level data. After we finish the water level data, and then we just finish the class, and maybe next week I just make some interpretation, more details about the result. So we now know the code. And right now we are trying to make the frame. So our final layer right now I change it to the minus K and the minus O because they will become the middle layer. And we should create some map for the water level data. Okay, so we start from the GMT and the PS base map again. So we should create the PS base map. And right now we would like to plot the minus R. The minus R also control the data ranges. So the time is the same, start from the 0 hour to the 96 hours. But the Y ranges are different because you follow the slide. The water level data, the values should be just around the 30 to 40, maybe. So in here, the Y-axis ranges, if you follow the slide, we will use the 336 to the 44. Okay, so because right now you plot the data is related to the water level, so you need to provide the Y-axis data ranges corresponding to the water level. And I use the minus JX, the same is X is the same size, is 15, but the Y I change it to the 2.5. And the minus BX, I control the minus BX also every 12 hours have the label, and the every 6 hours have the tick. And I also plus the label indicate the time, hours label. So I use the time and the hour. Okay. And the minus y, minus by, right now I use the each two labels have the label, and each one labels have the tick. This is corresponding to the water level unit. And right now the plus label here I would like to use is the water level. and the unit is the M. I use the broken line to block the minus by. Okay, and you see the plus label here. I use the water label, and show the units is the M. Show the units is the M. And then I only use the minus B show the W because I only want to show the y-axis on the western part. And for the northern, southern, and the eastern, there is nothing. Okay, nothing to show. And I use the minus V, and I can assume this is my final layer. So I directly use the minus O. And here, most important, I need to adjust the frame locations because this is a new frame. So I would like to uplift the frame. So here I use the minus Y and added 2.4 inch and save to chapter 3 and PSD.ps. So the minus Y here very important because this is the new plot and we plot a different data frame. So we would like to uplift the second plot and can be avoid some overlapping of the two maps. Okay, so I just save the file and make the plot to double check. Okay, so I save the code and run the code. Okay, nothing trouble, so I can open the figures again, and I can see. And in here you can see I have a water level in here, and the data ranges is from the 36 to the 44. So the reason why I use the minus Y because I need to uplift the second plot. If I don't do that, the second plot will overlapping with the first plot. So you need to use the minus Y to uplift the second plot on this place. Okay, so but right now nothing plot, so we cannot see any time series data. So the final plot we should edit the time series data of the water level. Okay, so nano the code. And then go the final. So we would like to plot the water level data and the input data name. Right now the input data name is the UTC underline 2 DW02 and 2018 and 8 months. August month and TST. This is my our input file for the water level data. So we use the awk again and print we only print the first column because the first column is the time. And here I minus the 5 to 8 hours because the data, as I mentioned, the data of the time series data, the first point is start from the August 1. But right now our data is start from the August 23. So we should adjust the time for the water level data to synchronize the water level data with our signal data. Okay, so the reason why here I use the minus 5 to 8, that's because I adjust the time to synchronize the date to be the August 23. Okay, and then I need to also plot the second columns because the second column is our water level data. Okay, and then I provide the input file name is the UTC underline and DW02 and 2018 and August month .txt. This is our input file. And then use the pipeline and the GNT PSXY to plot the time series data. And keep the same minus R and the minus J. And because right now we would like to plot the line, so we use the minus W, 1P. P is the 1 point, the line width. Okay, and the line color here I use the blue. And this is my final layer. So, so here I need to move the, because right now the PSXY should be moved to after the base map. So I need to copy the line here. Wait for me. Copy, select, and here, and the copy, and I should move to here. Copy, paste, and delete the line here. Because we need to plot the base map first and plot the time series data after. And so this is my middle layer. So I use the minus K minus O. And right now, here is my final layer. So I use the minus O and save to the chapter 3 PSD.ps. Okay, maybe I use the one broken line here. Broken line. Okay. So we only added the one line is here. I added the water level data and just plot the water level data and compare with our time frequency map. And the most important thing is here the first column I print here, but I use the minus the 528 hours. That's the reason why I plus minus the 528, because I need to synchronize the data between the water level and the seismic signals. Because the water level input data, the starting time is from the August 1, but our data is starting from the August 23. So I need to synchronize the two different time data. So that's why I minus the 528 in here. Okay, so you can save the file and say yes and run the code. And we can open the file again. Okay, nothing. Okay, so but no input is empty. So the UTC. Oh, the TST is the capital TST. So we should change the input file name to be the capital TST file. So I modify the interpretation here is the TST, and here this name is a TST. Okay, and okay, so we can run the code and to see what's happened again. Okay, and I open the file, figures, So right now I have the blue line, and the blue line is associated with the power spectrum density functions, power spectrum density map here. And as the first of the class I mentioned, you can observe very clear signals in here, and the strong energy PSD are consistent with the high water level stage. So that indicates we can conclude that the water level and the power spectrum density are high correlations, especially for some specific frequency band. Why I say that? Because you can only see some significant strong energy in this frequency are consistent with the high water level stage. But for some other portions, I already mentioned it's caused by the bridge vibrations. Okay, so this is that's the today exercise, but we don't have the time go in detail. So I stop here, and maybe the next week I can repeat some important ideas, and then after that we can move to the next exercise. Okay, so 今天大概就先这样子。那个主要都是我的键盘在搞事。那所以问题就出在说，虽然我们现在看到这个跟这个好像蛮有关系的，可是看起来在水的世界里面跟河川的世界里面，应该还有其他会去影响振动讯号的 source， 那才是我们这堂课要去厘清的。所以我们只是先让大家去做一个练习，好像你看起来好像蛮好的。那个中场有没录到的，如果有人认识那个确诊的同学，就是怎么样没录到，刚好没录到那个怎么产生 output 的资料的地方。那叫大家再多多帮忙他一下。那我们今天就这样，如果大家有问题，我们在现场把它解决。那如果没有，我们就大概今天就这样子。